Greetings, everyone. This is Toyin, Umesiri, author of Mindset of an Entrepreneur. I want to welcome you to today's session. I'm going to be teaching you a business growth strategy that will take your business to the next level. So when it comes to lead generation and conversion, this is really the engine of growth. If you want to build your business and take it to higher levels and you want to attract more leads. So I'm going to walk you through high level of one of my classes in my business school that is going to be an absolute game changer for you. So the principle here is about customer journey mapping. I use a lot of design thinking principles in my school, and I teach around really thinking through the lens of your customers, stepping into their shoes, understanding their psychology, understanding their emotional state of being, and your ability to use your branding, marketing, and sales messaging to shift them, serve them, and connect them to the solutions that you offer. So this is about the psychology, the emotion of your prospects, the journey that they're on, how you get to engage them on that journey, and how you get to connect with them and have great conversations that ultimately leads to a win-win situation where you grow your business and they get satisfied as well. So in the past, I've talked about emotional intelligence, I've talked about psychology when it comes to sales, branding, marketing, right? And so today we go a little bit deeper. This particular customer journey map, I call it lost and found, okay? So in my school, I have several workbooks, several programs that really just educate entrepreneurs and business owners and equips them with the tools they need to grow their business, whether you want to grow it locally here and or internationally. We also have programs for exports as well. So when it comes to your customers, to do this work really, really well, I always encourage entrepreneurs to step out of their own psychology or emotional state into stepping into your prospects, right? Emotional state of being. The reason this is so important, and this is also why there's a lot of mindset programs in my school, is because we often project our own insecurities on our prospects. We tend to project our own insecurities, our own thinking, our own emotions, and oftentimes, many times, entrepreneurs make assumptions about the marketplace. And if you bring assumptions into the marketplace, the market will still prove you right or wrong. What I always say is do deep research. So based on the research you've done about your prospects, your potential clients and customers, the customer profile, their pain points, their struggles, their aspirations, on and on, based on research that are fact-based, okay? You want to conduct surveys, you want to check in with your market, really what's going on, not what you assume is going on, but really what they're telling you is going on. Based on all the outcomes from your market research, then you can use this mapping to create the right messaging and lead magnet to support them and transition them from one stage of growth to another. So it's so important that we do not make assumptions of how we think people are thinking, but we actually ask them, we actually seek their opinions, and this is the power of market research. So I'm making assumptions that you've done market research. I'm making assumptions that you've listened to your clients and your customers. You've listened to the people you served before. They've given you feedback, and that feedback, that data point is really where the gold is. You want to mine it, and you want to use this template to really amplify and accelerate the growth of your business. So let's get right into it. There are 4 stages here that I've mapped, right? And this is tied to, again, the psychology and the emotional state of being of prospects. So let me call out the 4 stages. The stage 1, the first stage, is what I call lost. The last stage is found, okay? But the lost stage is where your prospects have symptoms, okay? Their struggles, their pain is real to them. Okay, you have the solution. You've invested time, energy, and resources to create products and services that solves specific challenges on behalf of your prospects. That's why you're in business. But this is about the journey right, that your potential clients or customers are on. They are living their own life. They have their own goals. They have their own aspirations, right? They have their own struggles. They have their own pain points. Taking all of that and mapping it into 4 stages. So stage 1, like I shared, is symptom awareness. And the analogy I want to give you is when people go to doctors, okay? When you visit a physician, you are taking in your symptoms. You may not really know the name, right, of the problem, what's going on. You may have headache or toothache or body ache. You know what's going on within you. You are not in your ideal state of wellness. So you know there's a disconnect, there's a dysregulation, and we often seek experts to tell us what's happening. So realize that many people in the world have symptoms, but they may not know what is going on. They do not have the name or the language, right, to be able to communicate or discern or diagnose the problem. So in your industry, you want to map out what are the real struggles of your prospect, of your clients and customers, not just psychologically. And again, when I teach IQ, intellectual mindset, what I mean is our mind, we use our mind to solve. We use our mind to achieve goals. We use our mind to pursue. We use our mind to use tools to create outcomes that we desire in our life. And so as we're trying to achieve our goals, if we're not able to achieve it, there is a struggle, there is a pain because we are not able to attain what we want to attain. So that's what I mean when you look at your prospect. What are their goals? Intellectually, what are they trying to achieve? What are they trying to create, right? What are they trying to bring into their life? Are they trying to buy a house? Do they want to buy a car? Do they want to increase their state of being, their financial state, right? Whenever we set goals, right, we want to become as well. So as we try to achieve at the emotional level, every struggle of not being able to achieve results in an emotional state of being. People are unhappy, right? Is that if you have a goal, if you set a goal for yourself and you don't have the skills, or you are missing a tool, or you don't know the right person that can help you achieve it, oftentimes people are not in the perfect happy state of being. And that's what I mean by emotional state of being. Anything that shifts people out of joy, happiness, fulfillment, right? Anything that shifts them from being content, happy, that gap is where you have an opportunity to help them close the emotional gap. So that's what I mean by the symptoms. What are the struggles that your clients are going through because they are not able to achieve the things they want to achieve? Many people know the struggle, but phase 2 is really helping them to understand what caused the struggle. Why are they struggling? Okay, the why is your ability to almost be a therapist, right? When you go into the doctor, like I shared, the doctor listens to you and says what's going on. And then you explain, oh, you can't sleep at night. Oh, your leg is restless. Oh, this, you're running temperature. And then the doctor takes time out, right, to check your vitals, to listen to you. And based on the information you provide, the doctor says, aha, I know what the problem is. It is called, and it gives you the name. Just by giving you a name, just by naming your symptoms, that in of itself brings a lot of relief. Why does it bring a lot of relief? Is you know that you're not alone, that what you're going through is common, right? That what you're going through, there's a name for it. And if there's a name for it, peradventure, there's also a solution to your problem. When people don't know the name of their struggles, when they cannot name it, the struggle gets more intense. So here's where, as you create content, as you want to relate in the marketplace, many times when, people talk about social selling and content creation, this mapping also helps you really generate and deliver the right type of content for each phase, for each emotional and psychological state of your prospect, because this is when you build trust with them. So if you're able to create content that talks about the symptoms and leads them to finding and diagnosing or explaining to them that they're not alone, okay, that other people have struggled this way. And also you can use this opportunity to showcase previous clients and customers, their customer story of saying, you know, when I came to this business, I was struggling just like you. And when I worked with them, this is what they did. And because I worked with them, my life and right now looks this way. I'm happier, I'm fulfilled, I was able to achieve because of the intervention of this business stakeholder. Your ability to introduce those type of stories at that early stage really builds incredible trust. It helps your prospect understand that they are not alone. It also helps them understand that other people that have faced the same challenges have found answers to their problems and they can come out on the other side victorious. Okay? So crafting content and other parts of this workbook, this is just a very high level. Other parts of this workbook also teaches you how to create your magnetic message, the message that connects, resonates with your prospect at each stages. So when you are able to move your prospect from symptoms awareness, okay, and you are able to intercept and deliver a message and say, okay, do you have this struggle? Here's what's going on, okay? Now you're able to move them to problem aware. Now they know why they're experiencing their pain and struggles and the challenges that they have. They have a name for it. Now they're aware. If this was all that was necessary for people to invest in your program, to walk into your business and to ask you to serve them, then everybody will be happy. But here's what you also need to understand. Everybody that has problem awareness, that are in the problem awareness stage, not all of them are looking for the right perfect solutions, because here is where you need to be careful. Many people that are problem aware also have options. Okay, some may want to DIY, do it yourself. And let me give you an example. Someone might have a toothache, okay, and they're aware that they need a solution, it needs to be solved. But somehow they might have home remedies, right? They might have home remedies that they want to explore first because they don't like their dentist. They don't like to visit the dentist, so they are avoiding the ultimate expert solution and they are hoping that the problem goes away. This is when you send messaging that helps people understand the consequence of inaction. Yes, some problems ultimately, maybe with time, will go away, but we know as experts that some problems just get worse when it's not treated, when it's not addressed, right? So this is your ability to then engage and communicate, to let people know, now that you're problem aware, how quickly do you want a solution? Okay? Because you cannot think for your prospect. Our job is to give them something to think about. So this is where your content then says, okay, you're problem aware, okay, this is why you're struggling, okay, these are the options, you could do it yourself, right? But now you can present to them pro and con, the advantage and disadvantage of DIY versus seeking an expert. So as example, DIY may save you, right, money upfront, but the money you save upfront, okay, down the line, you're going to pay for it in your energy investment and maybe in the time you have to invest solving your own problem if you have the skills. Okay? The power of working with an expert, and this is something you can share with your prospect and create content around. The power of working with an expert is that the financial investments you make upfront, okay, makes you arrive at a solution faster, quicker, with less stress, okay, and you can go about your way and do other things and save time. That kind of messaging is something you can present to your prospect and give them an informed way of arriving at a decision. Do you want to save money up front and use your time, energy, and resources to try and solve something you may or may not have the skill to solve for yourself? Or do you want to explore working with an expert that has solved it for other people before and is willing and able to work with you, serve you, and send you whole and well? That's a conversation at that stage that you want to have. After all, if you don't go to a dentist or a doctor, you may attempt to become a doctor yourself. You may attempt to become a dentist yourself. Do you really need to do that? Okay? Doctors and dentists have invested years and years, okay, acquiring the knowledge, developing the skills that will help us go into their office, and in an hour or two or less, even minutes, right, you can get an answer, right? You can understand what the problem is, you can find the solution, you can get your prescription, and you can go home and fill the prescription, and then have a resolution in days versus months or weeks. That's a conversation you want to present when you find that people know the problem, okay? They have various options, okay? But they are exploring and hoping the problem just goes away without investing, okay, in an expert solution. You can have those conversations at that stage. And then for stage 3, when people decide that they want an expert, and maybe they've struggled for weeks, for months, sometimes even for years, and they still don't have the results that they desire, and they now acknowledge this stage requires humility, and for people to humble themselves, to surrender, and it requires a lot of vulnerability, to willingness for prospect to surrender, okay, to the help of another. This is when they can start seeking out, actively seeking out expert solutions. When people have attempted to solve it by themselves and they keep on struggling and the problem doesn't go away and the symptoms do not get relieved, at that point, people start seeking expert. This is an opportunity for you. Stage 3 is when you present differentiation. When people move out of DIY and now they're focused to external solutions, realize that there's also a pool of experts that they may be exploring, right? So your ability to then explain why your solution is different, why your solution is more effective, why it is more impactful. This is when you start talking a lot about the impact and transformation and results you can deliver, and also how you do it differently. Why did you build it differently? Why do you solve it differently? And this is really when you're giving the prospects information that will help them compare, right? Compare and then decide that you're the best for them. Because ultimately in stage 4 is when they've arrived at a decision that your solution, right, your product and services, okay, is the most ideal for what they want solved, whether for their pain points, their price points, right, how quickly they want it solved, right, what they've heard other people say, the trust factor, the quality. Now this is when criteria comes in, the quality criteria, decision criteria. At stage 3 is when you start presenting all of that. One of the things that I also help with in this particular class available in my business school at toyin.umesiri.academy is when I say at each stage of these four stages, one of the things you want to do is assess mindset. What are people thinking about? People who have the symptoms, the struggles, the challenges, what are they thinking about? What are they talking about? You want to map that. You also want to map out the pain, the emotional pain. What is it? What do they call it? Okay? What would they call it in terms of their struggles, their pain, frustration, right? What name would they give it? You want to map it out because these are the keywords you can then use in your magnetic messaging. You also want to explore their aspirations. Okay, where are they trying to get to? Because there's another resource in my school where I talk about tales of two cities, where people are, your ability to describe, right, the current scenario, and your ability to also talk about the transition point and then the future state. What does it look like? Particularly when you're selling services. If you're selling a product, you can just demonstrate the use of your product and people can imagine themselves using your product. If you're selling a car, You can do an ad showing somebody driving the car, talk about the features of the car. Our five senses can, right, take that in, and we can understand and imagine ourselves using your product. When it comes to services, there are other skills that I help my students develop, which is the skill of storytelling. You have to tell the story that activates imagination, because in the minds of the prospect, they still have to see what their life looks like. They have to have a vision and be able to use their imagination, okay, to imagine what their life will look like if they're to sign up and enroll in your program. So your ability to engage and understand their aspirations. Where are they wishing and longing to arrive at? Who are they trying to become? One other thing you also want to look at in each stage is what I call the blind spot. What don't they know that they need to know? For example, when people are aware, okay, of symptoms, the problem itself is in a blind spot. They may not know why, okay, they're struggling. Let me give you another, a good practical example with my school. When I teach entrepreneurship, okay, is that oftentimes people may not know that the main gap in the struggle is lack of education, lack of awareness, lack of understanding, lack of skill is why many people struggle, right? So education enlightens us and bridges us from the realm of the unknown, where there's a lot of struggle, to the realm of known. Because when we can shift prospects, entrepreneurs, business owners out of the realm of the unknown, because the unknown, the place of lack of knowledge, there's a lot of chaos, confusion, ignorance, like there's a lot of emotional dysregulation in that space. So part of why I teach is because I know that once we teach, once we train, once we coach, once we guide, okay, once we mentor those who are new in the world of business, or those who are looking to achieve greater success in business, if you work with someone that has already achieved what it is you're trying to achieve and greater, the struggle goes down, the pain goes down, okay, confusion goes down, and then clarity, okay, skill, understanding, knowledge. Once you increase knowledge, clarity comes in as well, and all of a sudden the pain goes away. That's what we know as expertise. Once you have clarity, once you have direction, once we have guidance, once we have mentorship, coaching, guidance that guides us on our journey, the struggle lessens, the pain goes away, we can then enter what we call the flow. Because once you develop skills and you know what you're doing and you're applying those lessons in your business, you start seeing results. But that requires awareness for people to understand, because as a business educator, one of the things I've seen is that the world of business does not cater and serve the needs of emerging business owners, right? When you're new to the world of business from 0 to 5 years, that journey has a lot of struggle, and the traditional education system has not prepared most people for that. So there's a lot of struggle that I believe can go away, pain that can go away when we invest, okay, in teaching and guiding and coaching those who are entering the business world newly, and we help them transition into that phase of awareness, knowledge, right, faster. Because whether you like it or not, the first 5 years is really developing ourselves, right, learning a whole lot, right, navigating the landscape, and out of that is when success starts showing up. That's why it takes a lot of time. And when you look at the statistics, year 3, many people struggle, many people give up. I've included a lot of lessons as well in my book, Mindset of an Entrepreneur, Strategy, Skills, and Mindset for Achieving Business Growth and Success. So lessons like this, really, they're a game changer. And in each stage as well, you want to look out for what I call moment of truth and moment of realization, because this is where your lead magnets can help. Is that for each stage, if you can offer for free consultation, free download, free resources, free content, if you can provide a resource that helps people move from stage 1 to stage 2, that helps them understand and self-diagnose, that's a real game changer, because trust and connectivity happens when people help us. okay, to see what we cannot see, what's in our blind spot, right? If you go to a new city as a tourist and somebody is able to point you in the right direction, you say thank you. And you never forget, because that experience, your experience in the new city just got better because somebody that knows where things can be found in that city, they just pointed you in the right direction. So I say you can be that for many people in the world today. You can actually design solutions that says, let me guide you so that you can understand what the problems are. Let me show you what the solutions are. And by the way, I also have a solution, right? And this is what my solution looks like. And this is why my solution is strategically positioned. And I think you really want to pay attention and spend some time exploring my solution. That's how you lead people from the place of struggle, right, to the place of awareness, and they trusting you and listening to you. And this is when the sales cycle then kicks in, where people start talking about, okay, let me listen to what it is you can do for me. I believe when people do not follow this process, many people out there are saying, buy my product, and you can tell people are not paying attention because people know their struggles, right? But they may not know what your solution can do for them. Can you imagine a doctor just showing up and saying, here's the medication, use this medication, and people are like, listen, what's your medication for? Right? So our ability to connect the people's struggle with the solution that you have, that's what this program helps you do. And the moment of truth is when you can help people go, now I know, right? Moments of realization is that when you help them see what they need to see and understand the things they need to understand so that they can make the decisions, okay, that makes their life better. That really is incredible value that you and I can continue to offer in the marketplace. And I hope I've done that for you today with this lead generation high level. There are more resources at my school that you can check out at toyinumesiri.academy. And I look forward to hearing from you. If you have any questions, do reach out. And if you want me to share more, because again, we have so many resources in the academy. I've done many projects for multilateral institutions where I train entrepreneurs from around the world. So happy to guide you and bring these resources to our city as well. Thank you so much. I hope you'll join me again next week. And again, if you have any questions, reach out. God bless you and see you. Have a nice day. Bye for now.